Can we backtrack a bit and talk about your master's? What got you interested in psychology?
Yes. So I don't know if you remember, but my undergraduate thesis was housing. I looked at affordable mass housing,
Yeah.
and you and I went on case study trips, which was fascinating. But yeah, I was trying to understand how we can provide good homes for people. And with affordable mass housing, often it's just units being replicated. So I don't know if you remember, but I did like a tiny bit of documentation of the existing settlement there, which was
Right.
interesting. Like there were these they were government provided or designed homes, like very linear, right next to each
Mm-hmm.
other, and people had extended them back and front. And that was very fascinating. So I did like a documentation of that, and I tried to bring that into my actual design. So like, okay, when people are financially a bit more stable and secure, they would want to expand. So I'm like, how do I factor that into my design? So I was trying to future proof the homes, and I looked at incremental housing. When I did that, a lot of issues came up, obviously, like structurally, like where can they physically expand, but also things like privacy and territoriality. And these are very, inherently psychological concepts. How do people feel and how? So that's when I started looking at some, I wouldn't say papers specifically, but just reading up a bit more about it and being really fascinated about it. And I loved that side of things. And I designed for privacy, I designed for territoriality. I just didn't realize it at the time. And I remember my mum asking me to explore masters. And I said, in architecture, you don't really need to do masters. And I was thinking, okay, if I do need to do a master's, it'll be in something that I'm extremely passionate about. And then I started looking and thought back, and I'm like, oh, I loved that side of things. Let me look at it. And then I realized there is a field in psychology called environmental psychology. So I started digging a bit more into that. So yeah, that's when I found the course at Surrey, which was literally the only place in the entire world that offered a 1 year master's program
Okay.
on this
Why
topic.
is it
So I'm
like
like,
a little longer, is it?
in the US, they had, a couple of years. No, I don't think they had a master's. They had a PhD program, and I wanted to
Okay.
be taught. I wanted to be taught what
Correct.
it was because it's new. Like I have no
Yeah.
idea. So there's only now there are a few more courses that have come up since, but at that time, this was 7 years ago. I There was no other. So I'm like, okay, then I guess I'm off to the UK.